guys, good morning. Mathematicians, that's me. I hope I heard that from you as well. You guys, it's a beautiful day, and we're right now going to talk a little bit about the adding up method and also about situation equations and solution equations. So let's just talk about these two really quick. When you're reading the story problems at home and you're trying to solve them, remember oftentimes putting that situation equation first and then deciding what do I have to do to solve it. So that situation equation might look different than your solution equation. So for example, Mrs. Seitz has some dogs. Mr. Seitz bought 15 more. Now we have 25. How many dogs did I start with? My situation. Mrs. Seitz has some dogs. I don't know how many, but I have some. Mr. Seitz went and bought 15 more. If he bought 15 more, I know that we're adding on. Now they have 25 dogs. So my friends, I'm going to ask you, this is the situation. Now how I solve it is completely possibly different at times. Friends, if I wanted to, I could even make that math mountain so I can find some understanding. So in this problem, am I really looking for the total? I hope you said, no, Mrs. Seitz, you're not looking for the total. We know the total. The total is 25. That's how many dogs we have now. We're looking for, did you say missing add-in? Awesome. We're looking for that missing add-in, something I started with, and then Mr. Seitz went and bought 15 more dogs. This is crazy because I already have one. Oh, I couldn't have 15. That'd be too much. But he bought 15. So here's my math mountain. Math mountain's going to help me now to understand how to solve it. So I can solve it with this math mountain. Okay? Now, if I wanted to, I can think to myself, I could add up or I could subtract, right? I could take that 15 from that 25, or I could look at my 15 and add up. I could go 15, go to my first next 10, which would be 20, and then now I'm at 20, and I'm going to add 5 more, and now I'm at 25. Altogether, I added 10. That's that add up that we've learned earlier in the year. We're going to learn that add up now with 3-digit and how that works. So friends, here we go. I know my answer then is 10. That means I had 10 to start. So we had a start unknown problem. So friends, right now, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to pull this one out. So I'm going to ask you to think about our whole entire adding up method. So here's our adding up method. We're going to revisit this because you're going to see this in your problems this week on lesson 8, I believe. Your adding up method. I have 29 pickles. Mr. Seitz bought some more. Now I have 144 pickles. That's a little bit too many pickles, but that's my story problem. What's your story problem? Think about what you'd do for this problem while I erase this board. Did you come up with a story problem? Okay, because your story problem would be the situation equation. That's my situation equation. All right? Now how I solve it is sometimes very different or might be similar. So I'm going to put my numbers where they belong in that math mountain. So does anybody know what the total is? I hope I heard a rousing 144. That is correct. Do we know one of the add-ins? Yep, we know 29 is one of them. And then we know that one's unknown. So friends, you might say, Mrs. Seitz, I can solve that in many different ways. One way I'd like you to really think about solving it is by using the adding up method. We used this method, I want to say about 2 months ago. And then our break came. And so that's why I'm bringing it back to you so we can revisit this and use this even more efficiently. Because as a mathematician, what strategy you use when you're adding and subtracting has to be as efficient as possible. So this adding up is an efficient possible method you could use. So I could take my 29, because I'm trying to get my 29, trying to get to 144. What am I going to add to 29 to get to the next 10? Did I hear a 1? You're right. It is a 1. So now I'm at 30. So a lot of friends will be like going, well, I need to get to 144. I'm at 30 now. I think I'm going to add, I hope I heard somebody say 70, because I would add a 70 to get to 100. So now I'm at 30. I'm going to add that 70. I'm at 100 now, but I need to get to 144. How many of you said, I'm adding 44? Yeah, I'm going to add 44 too. And then I'm at my 144. Friends, right here are the things I added on. So I have a 44, I have a 70, and I have a 1. Well, I know my 1 and my 4 makes a 5. I know 7 plus 4 is 11. So 7 tens and 4 tens is 11 tens. That's our 11 tens, right? And then I'm going to add my 5 to it. And I'm going to have 115. My unknown add-in is 115 using the adding up method. Now, friends, I can check this because I know that 29, if I put it back with 115, I would get 144, correct? You bet I would. So friends, this adding up method is something you're being asked to do in your lesson 8. But again, this adding up method is something you can do anytime as a strategy. Let's try it one more time. At home, let's see. We have 156 plus unknown equals 734. I would like you right now to think of a story problem for this. I will have one myself. Mrs. Seitz has 156 donuts. Uncle Tommy brought some more over to the house. Oh no. Now I've got 734 donuts. It's a little bit too many, but that's my story problem. I'm going to have fun with this. And that is also my story problem because it's the situation equation. So here's my situation equation. And I made a story problem that went with it. Now how I solve it can be different. So let's look at the adding up method to solve it. Now again, we're going to go back to 156 plus equals 734. My story problem, made one for my situation equation, 156 donuts. Crazy Mrs. Seitz. Uncle Tommy brings over some more. Now we have 734 donuts. We are having a breakfast party, that's for sure. So friends, let's get that math mountain going. Here we go. Do I know the total? I hope you said yes, Mrs. Seitz, I do. It is. It's 734. You guys are getting really good at this. Do I know my add-in? I know 1. Excellent. 156. And that's our unknown add-in, which is right here. Now, friends, again, we're doing the adding up method. I am not saying that you couldn't use a different way to solve it. I'm fine if you said, Mrs. Seitz, I would do this. I would take 734 and I would subtract 156 from it because I know that I can find the other add-in by doing that. Absolutely, you could. That's because you're a mathematician. That's me. But we're going to try the adding up method. So here we go. 156. I'm going to add up to get to my total. I know I'm going to get to the next 10. Yep, I'm going to add a 4. Some people might say, Mrs. Seitz, I'm adding a 44. I know why. You want to make that 10 and then you want to make that next 100. Brilliant. I'm not saying that's not a good idea. It really is. But I'm going to go with this one because I'm feeling kind of comfortable. So I'm going to go 160. And of course, my friends out there said, Mrs. Seitz, I would have added 44. That's okay. I'm adding 40 now. so I can get to my next 100. Because I know 6 tens and 4 tens will make 10 tens, 100, to go with that 100. Now I'm at 200. But I need to get to 734. I'm just going to throw a 500 right in there, because I know that I will then get to 700. My friends, I need 34 more. And now I'm at 734. How many did I add all together? I see a 500. I see 3 tens, 4 tens, 4 ones and 4 ones. 4 and 4 is 8. I'm holding on to my ones. 40 and 30 is 70. I'm holding on to my 70. And 500 stands alone. So I'm going to hold on to my 500. So now I've got 500 plus that 7 tens plus those 8 ones. 578. That's using the adding up method. Now I know my unknown add-in. My 5s are so funny looking. Sorry, a little bit janky looking 5s. So we have 578. Friends, that's it for right now. That's the adding up method. Remember, when you're doing story problems, the adding up method is a good resource. But I think what's most important is to know the situation equation so that you can then solve. You guys, mathematicians, that's me. See you later.